What I have here is a couple of excellent construction toys which I've been asked to review. So let's open up the box and see what they're like. I'm just going to actually show you these myself rather than getting some kids to play with them, because I think they're going to be a present for somebody, and obviously it's best if they don't get to see them before I actually give them to them for real. So first of all, we'll look at the little one. I think they're wrapped in these plastic wrappers to keep them nice when they're being stored in the warehouse, so when they arrive at you they're nice and clean, and any warehouse dust and grime and so on's on the plastic packet. Well, these plastic wrappers do grip the boxes quite well, so you need something like a pair of scissors handy to get them out. And this particular one makes a car. See how the bits work, and the instruction sheet and so on, so you can see how easy it is to make the model described if you want. But to be honest, if you give these to a well, certainly when I gave these to a 4-year-old child, after we'd made one of the models from the book, he then proceeded to make a model of his own designing in about a minute flat, which was a lot quicker than we managed the model that was in the book. Bits, you can see this is the round bit that you can bend around the front of the car. They're all flexible. The instructions show you quite clearly how to put everything together. So let's just do the first bit of this particular model. They give you a nice little toy spanner with a pretend adjuster on it, a nice little screwdriver, and certainly they're quite easy to use, but in reality you'll probably find that you can do most of this just by hand. So we need one of the screws, one of these screws here, and it's got to go through that hole there, and then through, oops, other way, sorry, helps you do it the right way around, doesn't it? Through that hole there, through that hole there, and you'll see there's a little cut out bit there which will sort of hold the nut. So if you push the nut in like that and do this up with a screwdriver or by your hand, whichever you find easier, it'll all just pull together quite nicely. So that's that first bit done. And the next little bit that you do is you get two of these, and a couple more nuts. So you pop this through the end of that, through there, into one of the nuts, and then you do the same on the other side, and so on, and you can go through and eventually you'll end up with the model there. So it's fairly easy to do. You can either use the tools or you can use your hands, and quite often there's a little gripper for the nuts, so all you need to do is put the nut in and tighten the bolt up with a screwdriver. This is a bigger set. You can make quite a lot of different models with this one if you follow the instructions, but again, most children will design their own models which they're quite happy with. I know my grandson made an airplane with a set very similar to this within less than a minute of us having finished making the helicopter that was described in the instructions. In fact, if you end up getting both of these toys, once you've unpacked them and so on, you'll find that all the bits will fit in the one toolbox if you want them to. Now you see with this one there's a sort of a MPV you can make, a helicopter, a bulldozer, a racing car or a boat, and in addition to those, of course, you can make any number of models of your own devising. You get a lot more bits in this kit, so if you're only buying one kit, it is worth spending a few extra pounds and buying this one. There they all are again, and there's the box of little bits, and you get some wheels with this. And the two kits change. So let's have a quick look at one of the models here and make a quick start at manufacturing something, but I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it does take ages to make one of these. One of these short bits here, two of these white bits with holes quite close together. We want through the end of one of these, through the second one in one of these, which has got to go that way up, sorry, according to the instructions, and through that one here like that, and then screw the nut onto the end. And similarly, doing one of these, one of these, one of these, one of these, and I think this is the beginning of making it's the beginning of making the model of an MPV or minibus or whatever, or a car, depending on what your imagination tells you it is. And again, with this kit you again get the tools, quite nice and easy to handle, both for an arthritic 64-year-old and for your 5-year-old child. It says age is 5+, I think that's largely because of the instructions and the small parts. My grandson had no trouble with these when he was 4, but that was only a few weeks ago, and he's now 5. So that's the first stage of construction, and then you get some more bits and you screw them together, and so on and so on and so on, and build up a bit at a time. Nice, simple, easy to follow instructions until you end up with that. But if I was to film me making the whole thing, it would take me about 20 minutes, and I'm sure you've got better things to do than watch 20 minutes